Welcome to this powerful guided meditation in which today I will guide you to reclaim your power in your relationship or in any kind of relationship, especially at those times when you perhaps feel maybe there is some self-doubt or some emotional trigger, there is a discomfort or even powerlessness that you feel that the other person is simply not collaborating, not cooperating, or doesn't want to give you what you want. And this meditation really goes way beyond just some relaxation techniques, overcoming anxiety, or trying to get more confidence. This meditation is about an ego death. You will naturally step into your natural confidence and power beyond what you can imagine. And often in relationships of any kind, we tend to blame the other person. We believe that the person is doing something to us that we don't like, that they should not be doing. And we already know how this should unfold. And every time when we blame somebody, we are actually claiming ourselves incapable. We're claiming ourselves powerless. And so this meditation only has 3 steps. Once you learn it, you can do it anytime. It is a deep inquiry that will really take you beyond those games that we play in relationships that we are completely oblivious to. So it's a beautiful way of reconnecting with yourself, and then from that place refining that natural power beyond just trying to convince yourself that you are powerful, if you know what the difference is. And this meditation is sponsored by Mindfulness, which is a hero's journey therapy, an audio journey which will allow you to go on an adventure while having deep insights. I will guide you through every step of this meditation. I really want you to pay attention or really get present with this if you want to get all the benefits out of it. Because as I said, it's powerful and you can use it in the way that's more powerful than you really think or imagine. And so at the end, I will guide you to relax deeper, and if you won't even fall asleep once you have those benefits of what it feels like. Perhaps when you think of an uncomfortable situation right now, you might experience this avoidant feeling, like you don't even want to think about it. But I want to assure you that if you go through that and you really look into those subtleties and ask yourselves the right questions, you can not only just overcome it, you can discover something for yourself that when it's hidden, it really keeps you away from your natural power that's there already. And so, as you are, get really present. I hope that you are at a beautiful place of yourself where you are not being disturbed. So we can dive into these simple 3 steps. And so the first step of this meditation is to relax, get present, simply follow my voice, and I want you to notice or remember an uncomfortable situation, uncomfortable conversation with somebody, maybe significant other, a dating situation, or even a working relationship, anyone that you are close to in a way. And once you have this situation and this conversation, just notice that it's completely okay to think about it or have this in your awareness. while you relaxing and softening your body and becoming present as you are here and now in this moment. Safe, accepted, and patient. And now I'm going to ask you a very powerful question. The powerful question is a step number 2. In this conversation, who are you trying to be perceived as? You simply look into who are you trying to be perceived as in that conversation. Just to remember how you felt, what you were thinking and believing about yourself. Perhaps you were trying to be perceived as someone who is very independent. And just notice. There is no judgment. We are simply noticing. And just notice that it's just interesting to notice. And once you put a word on it, or you find who you were being, who you were trying to be perceived as in that moment, we can simply move to the step number 3. And the step number 3 is to simply look at what is the opposite of who you are trying to be perceived as. So, for example, if you were trying to be perceived as someone independent, the opposite would be someone who is perhaps needy. Or if you were someone who were trying to be perceived smart, the opposite would be someone who doesn't know. And so, let's say that you are trying to be someone perceived, someone who is trying to be independent. Just notice that you were really trying to hide the part of you that is needy, that you were really trying to hide the part of you that has needs. Or if you were trying to come across as very smart, just notice that perhaps you were hiding those parts of you that sometimes don't know. Because to expose those parts of you is, for your self-identity, it's extremely dangerous. And now simply ask yourself, what would happen if I embraced that part of myself? So what would happen if you embraced that neediness? Not in a bad way, or that not knowing, not in a bad way, like just maybe being stupid. It's really just an integral part of yourself that is okay. We're just judging that part, so we are suppressing that part. And just notice what would happen if you embraced that part of yourself. And as you are imagining what would happen if you embraced that part of yourself, notice that you are already embracing that part of yourself. So in the example of independence and being needy or needing something, what would happen if you asked for what you need in that moment? Maybe you wouldn't have to ask the other person. Maybe you simply needed to ask yourself what it was that you were really needing in that moment. Because when we suppress those parts of ourselves, we become so disconnected. And when we embrace that part, when we can finally ask ourselves, what is it that I really need? That becomes your superpower. That becomes the moment where your natural confidence can shine through, because now there is nothing to hide. And often when we don't ask for what we need, when we are disconnected from that part, what happens is that we try to take care of the other person. We try to figure out what they need. We try to... We put so much energy into coming across as independent. And so what would happen if you simply asked yourself, maybe you can do it now, what were you really needing in that moment? Maybe you needed to be more patient with yourself and slow down. Maybe you needed some space. Maybe you needed them to listen. Maybe you needed to listen to yourself and to your thoughts. Maybe you needed their attention, not in a way of seeking attention, and simply asking for attention. Maybe you needed their presence, or maybe you needed your presence. Whatever that was that you were needing in that moment, just embrace that part as you are right now, this moment. And that is completely okay to embrace and to accept this part of yourself. And what happens when you do? And just breathe into that part, knowing that it's completely okay, knowing that it is completely accepted, knowing that this is just a way that those games are played sometimes. And that it has nothing to do with who you truly are. And from this space, you really don't need to figure out what would you say differently, what would you do differently, how would you feel differently, or how would the other person react to it. Just soften and relax into knowing that all it's needed is simply reconnecting to that part and becoming aware and accepting it as for what it is. Maybe it's a part of yourself that you've been avoiding or suppressing for a very long time, until it became part of your personality. just being more in touch with yourself and relaxing into that part. Let me know in the comments below what came up for you in this meditation.